Well, new toys, you gotta love it, right? Welcome to Ultimate DIY, where you learn to be your own handyman. And today we are going to continue our kitchen build series. Now, before we get into the cabinet building and all of that fun stuff, we're going to build a custom range. We're going to take a butcher block top, we're going to take a buffet, and we're going to take an induction range top, and we're going to build a custom piece of kitchen equipment. So the very first thing we're going to do is take a pre-made butcher block like this one here, and we are going to cut it to size. When I get it cut to size, I'm going to actually have to do the layout for the range on the top of it, and we're going to plunge cut and cut that out. And then I'm going to go in and have to cut out a little bit of the buffet itself, about 1.25 inches, so that the range will set down in it comfortably. And then we'll just attach everything, and we will have a custom piece of kitchenware here that we didn't go buy, that we actually built. Now, you can also build these butcher block tops pretty easy, but I want to show you as a DIYer, you don't have to do that. You can go to a lot of the big box stores, you can go to the seconds and surplus stores, and they will sell these new. This is one that was built for a small island, so it's wider, but it's pre-done, so it saves a lot of time. I believe this, at the time of this filming, ran about 300 bucks. Now, I could build it a lot cheaper if I wanted to build it, but my time is worth something, and yours is too. And in a future episode, I will actually show you how to build your own butcher block. But let's go ahead and let's start doing the layout and figure out where we need to cut. All right, so the very first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to check for squareness. Now, your piece of furniture could be out of square, especially if it's old, and your top can be out of square. The easy way to check that is to pull a diagonal from one corner to the other, get that measurement, and then do it over here. And if you make sure you hook in the exact same way, and see what your number is. If it's off a little, you're going to know. This one is actually off about 1/4 inch. What that means is I'm going to need to take about 1/4 inch off of one of these sides. I want to get it very straight so that I start with a really good cut. Now, an easy way to get a good square cut is to use a T-square like you use on drywall and kind of mark it here. Now, I would not count on just the T-square to be accurate. So what I'll do is I'm going to actually pull from this side to my line and see what I actually have. We are exactly 73 1/4. Now I'm going to go over here on this one, right at the end, and I am 73 1/4. That is perfect. Now I can measure here and get an idea of how out of square the unit was. 3/4 there, and we're pretty close, a little bit off, about 1/8. So once we get that edge lined up, I'm going to have just about 1/2 inch to 1 inch overhang here at this leg, and we are going to square up our sides. So let's do that. I went ahead and I marked using a framing square from underneath so that I could come across here, work it up, and get 2 lines. I've slid it away from the table so that when I'm using my plunge saw, I don't accidentally hit it. All right, guys, so once you get your rail clamped into place, you're going to take your plunge saw, your rail saw, you're going to use the guides and set it. On this particular saw, it has 2 marks. One mark is if you are cutting without a rail, and the other, because you set up in the rail, you set it at the other mark. Now, once you get that set correctly, now I'm going to put it on the wood. You're going to see it's a little lower, and that is mainly because we're on the rail. Now, you will have some black dials here, one on the front that you will use to kind of tighten this up so you don't have a lot of wiggle. You just want it to be able to slide. If they're too loose, you're going to have slop in the system. You don't want that. Then you just simply are going to take and put the battery in. Make sure you're all the way up on 6 and you're ready to rock and roll. One other thing we're going to do is I'm going to put the little dust catcher on. If you have a vac works extremely well. Let's go ahead and make our cut. So there you go, guys. Great cut. Looks extremely smooth. I will tell you, if you have some sawhorses to put on the other side, especially if it's a butcher block, it's very heavy. And that's why I kind of dropped it in, but did not damage anything, so it looks fine. Just keep that in mind. It'll probably help you quite a bit. So actually everything is lining up extremely well. So what we're going to do now is we need to cut this tail piece off the back. And we want it flush because it's going to go right up against the drywall here. So you're going to take your speed square, put it on top, slide it over to get this line even with the back edge. And then we are going to make our mark. Just like that. And then I transpose that mark to the top. So take my edge again now, put it on this side, and get it where that is going to be perfect right there. So that way I can put the bar across there, clamp it, and we're good to go. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side and then get the bar on. All right, so now we're going to move on to the other side. We're simply going to slide this down right there, make our mark. We'll come back just a little. And that's pretty much dead on what I thought earlier. Slide it over and make that mark. Now we just need to clamp our rail. All right, we're going to do it there. Now, just so you know, guys, you can use this on this side, even though it overhangs. I'll show you how that works. You can slide it in, and it will continue sliding down until it is connected. And start plunging. Now, there's a couple of things to keep in mind. First of all, when you're reading your instructions, most of the time you're going to have a couple of units, a smaller one and a large one. So make sure which unit you have so you're pulling the correct measurements. I almost started pulling from the smaller unit right here to here just to give me an idea because I'm figuring sizes, but I would have cut everything wrong. Now, going by the smaller one, I still could have recut it. It just would have been extra steps. So my basic measurements are like this. I can go minimum from side to side, 33 7/8. I can go a max of 36.5. I'm going to shoot for somewhere in the 34.5, so it slides in nice and easy and not too big, not too small. My width here is going to be a minimum of 19 1/8. My max is 20.5, so if I'm somewhere right around 20, I am great. The height of the actual unit is going to be 3 5/8. Right now, this is 1.5 inches. So I am going to have to create a couple of inches down inside of the buffet. So what we're going to do is remove the top, and we are going to see where it is going to actually set, because you want to try to get, say this is the edge of the unit, you don't want it back here in the middle. You want it closer to the front. Now keep in mind I have this overhang area here. So we want to see how far down we can go this direction, and then how far down we need to go. There are some drawers. I may be able to save those drawers, but keep that in mind. So let's go ahead and remove the top, and let's see what we have underneath. All right, so as you can see, I have all of this that we are going to have to plunge, cut, and then take out. And we've got quite a bit of room here. We're going to have to take out probably about 2 inches. We may be able to barely save the drawers. This area will be open to where I can cut a notch and run the cord back. Actually, the cord may just hang over this side, so that will work really well. All right, guys, the easiest way to figure out how we're going to lay this out, we have to look at this and see what pieces are going to have to be cut. We're going to have to pull these little triangles out. They're going to screw in here. They possibly have a little glue behind it. We are going to have to notch this out about 2 1/8 of an inch through this one, and most of this one back here. We may still get to use the drawers. If not, I will move the triangles down there, and the drawers will be solid. Now, the easy way to figure out where this is going to go, we're looking for, where is it? 34.5. So we're going to pull from this very edge. I'm going to put 9, Pull from this edge. I've got another 9 here. Make that mark. If you measure between these two, I have 34.5. But what we're going to do is go ahead and put the top back on and kind of take these measurements and get it marked out. So now it's just a simple matter of cutting these ends all the way through, because the curve of the blade is round, which means on the back side you leave just a little. So what you can do, you can use a pull saw or you can use a jigsaw. And I'm using a jigsaw with a very fine blade so that I do not chip up the wood, even though this part of the wood up to about right here is going to be covered. You still don't want to really do that. There we go, and then we're just going to continue that on all 4 corners. There it is. So yep, that will fit the opening very well. So we just need to set this thing straight and go ahead and mark out what we need to notch out. Got it all lined back up, set perfect. Make sure your edges are right. You don't want to have to mess with this later. Get it where it's just right. And then I'm simply going to make a mark at all these locations where it's crossing. I want to take these blocks out here at the front, the little wedges, take these wedges out, those wedges, and then all of this center inside of where I'm marking here is going to have to be notched. Use a good carpenter square like this, it'll make it easier. I set it at 2 1/8. That's actually what I need, is 2 1/8 with the 1.5 inches, which will give me the 3 5/8 I need. Now I'm looking at this, I may be able to just barely save these drawers, which is great because I can put cooking utensils in there. So I can get it. And all that's holding it is these little screws like this, and there may be some glue. A lot of these pieces of furniture I find don't have it. I can find where this one is at. Yeah. Not having a lot of luck finding that one, and it does feel like it is glued. All right. There we go. Ah, staples. No wonder. So they put 1 screw and staples. There's your 1 screw. All right, our saw is not going to quite go to the full depth I need, but I'm going to use it to go ahead and mark. All right, guys, so we have it all cut out, all the notches. It's a little rough at this point, but I think it's a little lower in some places than it has to be. But what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and place the unit on the top and see how close we actually are and if we need to make any adjustment. Get it back on just right. Got to make sure you get the wire behind. I have a slot already ready to go for that. Right there. And we try to slide it into place. It's moving my top a little right now, but we should be able to do it. So there you go. Drawers still function. Everything works. I think it's going to look fantastic. So now all we have to do, guys, is clean everything up, and we will use a little silicone and silicone the sides in, attach brackets, make sure that everything is nice and firm. And by giving it the slightly bigger opening, I'm able to move this around and get it exactly where I want it and where it's square. It gives you a little more room. So there you go, guys. It went in. Everything was fantastic. Now keep in mind, most of these have little clips on the side. Do not remove those clips. They're designed to fit within those openings, the parameters that they give you, and it keeps it off of the sidewall so these can actually cool and not overheat. So that's very important. Plus there's two mounting brackets on this one on this side and one on this side that actually get mounted. Now I have purposely not mounted them yet because I'm going to probably stain this top. I just haven't decided what shade of stain I'm going to use yet, so that's coming up. If you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing. If you're not part of our newsletter, please consider subscribing to our newsletter. The link will be in the description. That way you'll know about all of our upcoming videos before and as I release them, along with a lot of other tips and tricks. So we will see you guys on the next one.